You're thinking too small, and this took me too long to understand. You see, when it comes to business, and not just business life, oftentimes we wonder, we're doing all the right things, we've taken all the courses, we've read all the books, we've hired all the mentors, why aren't we progressing? 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 10 years, 15 years go by, and maybe there's been an incremental jump, or there's been a flat line, and you're wondering why. One of the reasons I can guarantee you is because you're not thinking big enough. When I was 20, back in 2019, when I was 19 years old, I'll be walking around the Werribee Plaza in Melbourne, Victoria, in the west of Melbourne. And I remember I'd get my phone out like this and I'd start recording videos. I barely had any business experience. Maybe at the time I read my first 20 books, but I thought that I could escape the reality in which I was raised around, which was, people that maybe were doing gardening, doing HVAC, going to university. My parents wanted me to be a lawyer. But I was like, no, there's something bigger here that I'm capable of. And I might not know exactly what it is yet, but there's something bigger. At the time, I would get laughed at. I remember one friend of mine, and this is a friend, and it's okay, we've had discussions since then, but at the time, maybe he wasn't a friend, but was recording me while I was making a video just like this. I was 19, he's like, Dami doing his thing, and they would laugh at it. Dami would put on a voice, like, but 5 years later, I have friends in the same friendship group that have called me spontaneously for sales advice, called me to get a job. And it's not because I am this evergreen, extremely experienced 25-year-old entrepreneur. It's simply that I had the courage to think bigger. Now at 25, I've got networks of friends of mine that are doing $10,000 a day, $20,000 a day. So for me, making multiple six figures in revenue with my little agency, it's like, I'm very grateful for that progression. I'm very grateful for how far we've come, the level of clients we're servicing, whether it's franchises, politicians, celebrities, all that good stuff. Festivals that I now co-own, the businesses that I've been able to acquire. But for me, my standard and my scale of thinking has expanded significantly solely because I now have the habit of being able to think bigger. And once you think big and it's a habit, it becomes very, very hard to want to stop because it becomes addictive. Imagine you had a goal at one point. We all have that goal of that YouTube, guru goal, make $10,000 a month, 100K a month. Okay, but when you make your first 10K a month, what are you going to go for next? The 20K, then the 30K, then the 50K? For me, it's the first 100 plus K. That's one of our next goals, right? And to be honest, I actually think that's a small goal. This guy's playing music, let me go back in the other way. One of the best ways to separate yourself from people, I'm guaranteeing you, whether it is within the corporate sphere, whether you are a doctor, whether you're picking up rubbish for work, whether you're an entrepreneur that's just starting out, your ability to think big will not only scale your ability to achieve bigger things, but it will also inspire people that also think big to want to work for you. And that is the difference between someone that actually stays in the game long enough to win and someone that stays around for a season. Over the last 5 years, I've been in the digital marketing sphere, about to go on my 6th year. The amount of people that I have seen come and start their agency is ridiculous. 3 months, no clients, they quit. They go to another business model. 1 year and a half in, they quit because their parents said they should give up. 2 years in, their boyfriend or girlfriend says, hey, it doesn't look like that's working. Maybe you're not naturally good at sales. Maybe you're not naturally good at marketing. Maybe you're not naturally good at social media. Maybe naturally it's not for you. But they haven't experienced it. So they are not qualified to give you feedback on your goal. I'm telling you, your ability to think big, irrespective of your environment, will literally set the tone for how fast you grow in this life, not just business-wise, but also in terms of experience. Earlier this year, if you told me 2 years ago that I'd be hosting dating shows in Bali and New Zealand at 24 years old, and I'd be able to fund it, plan it, manage it, and run the thing with a team of friends that I grew up with in late adolescence between 16 to 20, I wouldn't laugh at you. You thought I was going to say I was going to laugh at you. I wouldn't laugh at you, and I'll tell you why. Because just 1 second. Guys, if you're liking this video, just hit like and subscribe because we really appreciate your support. And if you think someone else can benefit from this, then please share it with a friend as well. Okay, so like, comment, subscribe, and back to the video. One thing that I can credit myself for, and it's not intelligence, it's not bravery, it's not strength, it's I've had the audacity since I was young, 10, 11, 12 years old, to think big. And I'm used to people laughing at me. I'm in Sydney right now. Sydney's more of a reserved spot than Melbourne. There's all these families around, people are looking at me like, what's this guy up to? this random, there's not even that many black people here. This black guy with dreads is in Sydney, and I don't care. And it's not because I'm trying to be overly exuberant or excessive. It's simply because I understand that to be exceptional, you have to, by definition, be the exception. Shout out to Alex Hormozy. There's no way you can achieve things that others have not achieved unless you get very comfortable thinking extremely big. And what happens is, and I'll wrap up here, if you persist with this ideology and this way of thinking, you will naturally start to exude a level of confidence, charisma, and traits that others would die and are so attracted to for. And you will create enemies, you will get jealousy from people close to you. I literally right now this morning got a message from someone I'm doing business with, and they were saying, that they just basically feel like I'm a bit too much in terms of how hard I'm trying to go for this campaign. And it's not because I haven't been getting them results. It's simply because my standard to be able to achieve these big things is likely significantly higher than their current standard for them to achieve what they've achieved prior. Remember, every time you're trying to be exceptional, you will have exceptional behaviors and standards that are not understood by other people. And that is how you know you're on the right track. By 16, 17 years old, I was excluded as a school leader from meetings with people that I was working with purely because of jealousy. And I could have crashed out, I could have been angry. But as young as I was at 15, 16 years old, whilst it might have hurt even more than it does now, I still understood. Of course they resent me. Of course they wouldn't want me in that room. No matter how much diplomacy I deployed, it was still for the fact that I thought way bigger and was able to remain in the conviction and in the strategy and in the deployment necessary to be able to achieve this bigger vision. If you think big, it's attractive. It's so attractive. Everyone wants to be a part of it. They want to be part of your vision. But, oh my days, it's scary. Oh my days, it's pressureful. Imagine if you guys were working with Elon Musk. You'd be inspired. You'd love working with him. But damn, you'd be under a lot of pressure because that man's expectations are space level. As would I. I would also be intimidated, right? But that's just a few words for you guys, because I'm telling you, 2025 and beyond, there's going to be a lot of people that are going to be exposed for trying to be that big thinker, that hero, that business person, that superstar. They're going to be exposed. But there's also a lot of room for the underdog that really does think big, that is willing to take the risks, willing to take the steps, willing to be audacious. And to that person, I salute you, and I look forward to seeing you in the next 5 years. You guys have a great day. I'm going to get on my flight, head back to Melbourne. Peace. Hey, guys, listen, it's Dami. Thank you for watching this video. If you got value out of this, then like, comment, and subscribe. Make sure to share this with a friend if you think that they can also get value out of this. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care.